Welcome back, everybody, to the Renaissance Humanism podcast. In today's episode, I'll be discussing deglobalisation and the possible future of Turkey in a deglobalised world. This means, in the historical context, that before the United States of America, which guaranteed international shipping, nation states used to be used to jealously guard their territorial waters. What the Americans did to win the Cold War and defeat the Soviet Union from 1945 to 1989 was to guarantee the protection of America's allies to the access to the sea trade, which meant if there was a river or sea access, any nation would be able to export goods and services around the globe. Turkey, which controls the Bosporus, has heavy influence in the Aegean Sea, control over Istanbul, which gives access to the Black Sea to the rest of the world and its shipping. This makes Turkey the owner of one of the globe's most critical geopolitical spaces. Uh, as the world becomes more deglobalized, places like the Bosporus, the Suez Canal, the Panama Canal will become increasingly vital. The Republic of Turkey has been in a state of isolation and an international geopolitical and non-actor for over 100 years since the end of World War One, which lasted from 1914 until the actual signing of the peace in 1919, then the collapse of the Ottoman Empire in 1922. The empire was dismantled by treaty and ended in 1922 with the last Ottoman Sultan, Mehmed VI, was deposed and left Constantinople, Istanbul, on a British warship. The empire, which existed from the 13th century until its collapse in the early 20th century, was a dominant player in the Middle East. It controlled the former Eastern Roman Empire's territories, which the Ottoman conquered in 1453, thereby ending the Eastern Roman Empire, which existed from 330 AD until 1453 AD. It finally marked the end of the Roman Empire, which was founded in 27 BC before Christ. When the Turks conquered Constantinople, renamed it Istanbul, they controlled the flow of the wealth between Europe and China due to the access to the Silk Road and trade routes through the city of Istanbul, which used to be Constantinople. With the deglobalization and the United States of America losing interest in foreign wars and maintaining peace in different regions around the globe, Turkey is provided opportunity to emerge as a dominant power in the Middle East. Turkey is the world's 13th largest military, with over 1 million personnel, and is the second largest military in NATO. Now, the problem for Turkey, they can go in several directions, but they can only go in one direction at a time. In a deglobalized world, Turkey has many options previously didn't have, as the United States of America made Turkey geopolitical positioning pointless to stop it from having one of the world's best positions to one of the world's worst. This is because the Americans changed how the global commerce worked internationally by protecting sea trade and make sure everybody had access to sea trade. With the Americans slowly withdrawing this protection of global shipping lanes and becoming disinterested, the Turks have had many choices which directions they wish to expand in. The sphere of influence, which doesn't necessarily mean military conquest. For example, Egypt faces the possibility of the Nile Delta experiencing mass flooding, which could potentially kill 50% of the Egyptian population, and also faces the possibility of mass famine and starvation. Suppose Egypt went in hand to Turkey and Israel as a possibility that they could be savaged as a people from the possibility of extermination caused by climate change. Turks also have to its north and Ukraine and Russia. The Turks could support Ukraine to give Turkey a buffer state between Black Sea, the Bosporus, and the Russian Federation. Russian historically wished to expand state control of the Bosporus Sea and see the city of Constantinople or Istanbul. Historically, the Russian Empire waged 12 wars against Turkey to take control of lands in the Balkans, Ukraine, and Bosporus. There's no reason the Russians in the present time won't harbour the same geopolitical ambitions. This is because Russia lacks international shipping access due to Russia's four seas problems. And also to get access to the sea, Russia will have to, in the west, pass through several NATO countries. For example, in the Baltic, they're going to go through Denmark, Sweden, Finland, And then finally, the British and French in the North Sea, particularly the British. Through the Balkans, they're going to go through the Black Sea, and through Turkey, and through the Mediterranean, and then finally through the British again, through the Straits of Gibraltar. Another option that Turkey has is the opportunity to replace, according to the geopolitical analyst, the Germans in the Balkans as well, with the possibility of absorbing Mesopotamia and becoming a turning power in the Persian Gulf, controlling eastern Mediterranean nations. The Turks are going four directions, but they can only do one of these. They don't have the resources to do everything. They have a major strategic decisions to be made over the next few decades. It's providing, that's a big if, America's totally withdraws from the position of global protector, global policeman. But that kind of situation could still potentially be decades away, years away. Also, big part could also depend whether or not Donald Trump wins the 2024 presidential election as well. Thank you for doing this podcast. I hope you find it interesting and informative. Please take care and peace out.